early game prowess right there. But late game, especially in kind of a tricky spot where OMG was able to separate their threats and never engage a fight, they didn't have a lot of answers, and they would have gleefully accepted that team fight right at the end to finish out the game because it could have gone much longer.
All right, we'll have to see here as we get into game 2 between these two. Snake are up a game here on the blue side as they ban out LeBlanc and Cassidon. OMG on the red side here. Down a game, they've banned out Rek'Sai as their first champion.
So obviously trying to pigeonhole Cool's picks right here with 2 mid lane bans. Now Azir's out of the champion pool. A lot of those powerful picks are getting banned. I could even see them first picking Xerath right here if we do see him escape the pick and bans. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, an injured Baka, I have to say, played really well on that Xerath, as we do have Snake banning out Gnar as their third, so lots of respect there to go going.
I know OMG doesn't want to ban Xerath, but they're going to do it. It's very significant. But you know that was the last thing they wanted to do. They wanted to smash Baka in that first game and force him to pick that champion again in a bad matchup. They've had to ban it, and this leaves that rumble up for Flandre. It's not the split-pushing solo top we expected from Flandre at the start of the season, but it's been perhaps his most powerful pick on display in the LPL.
Yeah, he's played, I think, the most games on Rumble of any champion that he's played so far, and he's got a very good record, maybe even an undefeated record with Rumble at this point. We'd have to check that, but a strong first pick there, and again, going in for a bit more resourceless action here, or less resources for Flandre.
And Janna Jarvan, it's been the red side special both games this series, a lot of the games in the LPL so far. So much power on those 2 picks. Probably going to be locked in right here. The important thing here is that Snake doesn't get that Rumble-Jarvan combination that has been huge in the LPL and throughout the world.
Yeah, important to deny that. So Janna Jarvan, it is for OMG, the same 2 picks that Snake did pick up in their first draft in game 1. And we'll see what Snake want to go for now as well. Kind of an interesting hover there. That'd be a nice blocker pick for Snake. But again, I like that Flandre feeling confident and just doesn't feel pressured to carry for his team.
What Snake really did in the first game, rather than focusing on Cool, they focused on Loveling. They actually focused on the featured matchup right there because they actually took Nunu and Jarvan. Of course, we saw Beast completely dismantle Gamtee's Jarvan player with Nunu and then do the same from the other side. And when you take away 2 of those strong junglers, it pigeonholed Loveling into the Rengar, who of course has great power from 6, great counter ganking early if you have very good team communication, but can really struggle to get into games. So to opt into Rengar and Tristana in this case is a surprise to me. And that's saying, despite how good Crystal is, they're really having a low impact early game right here. Only really Rumble to have any sort of mid-game relevancy in those first 3 picks.
Yep, going in for Rengar Trist, like you mentioned there for Snake. They'll be their second and third. So back to that same champ for Crystal. Again, probably his most played as well in the LPL. And OMG, considering their last few picks now as well, going to swap things around and interestingly go back to the Sivir for Uzi and Aurelia there for going in the top.
There was the hover for Caitlyn, which of course gives you that early game flavor, but also has the late game carry potential. But they're settling on Sivir right here because they've decided to go with Aurelia. And Sivir Aurelia, having Aurelia fly around the team fight, it's not enough that she can phage proc and move very fast natively, but then to add on the hunt, to have so much CC reduction, Aurelia is going to be massive this game, and it kind of delays Tristana's power spike even further just because she's going to have to use her rocket jump, use her ultimate defensively in a team fight, and still get those resets as we see some more hovers coming out here from Snake.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to get a champion that can kind of disrupt Crystal a bit more in team fights, and I think that's what going wants there on his Aurelia. But these picks are locked in here. Bit of swagger actually for Baka. Picks Cool, Syndra blind into him, and Thresh there for Ella as well.
You never really want to be in that position where you blind pick into Cool. He's got such a wide champion pool, so many champions you could pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ahri come out here. That's the Cool special, probably one of his favorite champions. He loves that Ahri. Ahri versus Syndra skill matchup will be an interesting one. But no, he's at least hovering over the real answer right here, the assassin off in the mid lane.
I mean, you include all the bans here in that pick from Baka, sorry. That's 5 mid lane champions that got taken up before Cool got a chance at his last counter pick here. So they're really saying, you know what, you banned out Azerath, fine, we'll pick on you, and it is going to be Fizz there, the last pick for Cool.
And Fizz basically makes it a bit of a ping comp here. It's all about vision once again coming out here, but the team fight from OMG, if they can get the initiate they're looking for, and of course with Jarvan, you're usually pretty confident about that, is crazy. And Snake have opted into a really weak mid game, and that's kind of the scary thing for me here. So we've seen that strategy work against a team like World Elite, where they were able to lose the minimum in the mid game, come up at the late game with a huge Tristana and win team fights. We saw how much trouble they had in the previous game with a fed Tristana, with a fed Xerath, at finishing out a game just because OMG was so smart about choosing their engagements, about playing passive, about playing aggressively, and splitting the targets. Now to kind of go for an even bigger mid-game power trough, unless we see some of the hijinks we saw last game where they managed to get a huge gold injection early, I think Snake are going to struggle here.
I'm not entirely convinced that they make games that weak, though, because we've seen Snake do this a lot when they pick Triss. They love comboing with Flunjo's Rumble, and the double AP actually gives them at least a boost through that mid-game potentially.
I mean, there's always the potential of the Equalizer coming down with a couple of magic penetration items and the resets coming in for Crystal. That's an ideal case. And, of course, Rumble does give them options in terms of team fighting around the Dragon. Of course, you never really want to choose to fight a Rumble at the Dragon buff, but there's not a lot of pressure coming out of the jungle with the Rengar. I think a lot, again, the featured matchup comes up again. We're going to have to see Rengar go big here.
All right, with that, we've got Game 2 coming right up between OMG and Snake. And back onto the rip, ladies and gentlemen, Snake versus OMG for the second time today. Snake is surprisingly up a game here in this best of two, and OMG are going to look to make sure they don't relinquish first place. That was the one thing we may have missed in our pregame. Papa Smithy, this is a battle for first. If Snake can win it, they are the undisputed first place in the LPL.
And the only way to truly choose their own destiny here today and not leave it in the hands of that group of teams at joint third place is to get the 2-0 victory here. Of course, if they lose this game, go 1-1, they only take a possible 1 point. They will be overtaken by any of the teams at 2 wins, picking up a third clear 2-0 win right here. So it's all on Snake to choose their own destiny, and they're beginning that very early with this invade.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about Snake maybe proving themselves against the better teams as well. What a statement it would be in the LPL to 2-0 OMG, who were until this point undefeated in LPL matches.
Absolutely, they're the only team that hasn't decisively lost a series here. So we see the aggressive wards coming down. It's the OMG standard. They once again have lane wards down. They opted into a 2v1 last time with the Sivir lane. So I guess I'm really unclear as to what OMG want from this early level 1 action.
Yeah, and I think Snake again are looking to set things up nicely for Crystal's Tryst. But I do like the double AP they've got as well. Be interesting to see the early movements. Again, Snake played the level 1 fantastically in the first 5 minutes of that game. It was beautiful to watch from him. And OMG going to be paying close attention to all these movements, as it looks like Loveling's going to start at his blue, actually. And over on the other side for Snake, we've almost lost him. Rengar's at his red, so
I'm going to kind of talk about what I expect to happen this game, particularly with Uzi, because last game he went for what has been a really standard play. He's been holding that lane, freezing the wave top, getting solo lane experience, getting access to that on the hunt quickly, and then showing up at team fights with a big buy. I think that was the plan last game, but from all the curveballs Snake sent out, it wasn't a viable strategy for them, and they had to group Uzi early with just a pickaxe for his troubles, and they kind of negated all the extra work they'd done into putting that freeze up top. If we don't see those early rotations in this game, I think we're going to see Uzi return to this strategy of just freezing that lane and then really showing up with a huge item lead in the first team fight.
yeah, Freezer started for Crystal as well, actually looking to get aggressive, and maybe Hookgo going in for a bit of poke damage. Vertical jungling will once again be the flavor of this game as well, and Snake will continue to defend the bottom side of the map where Crystal's sitting, trying to farm safely on Tryst.
And once again, it's this very early jungle follow coming out of Snake. They haven't elected to put anyone here lane. Of course, Gogoing's in lane very early. For once, doesn't have the defensive wards that we expect when OMG are in a 1v2 situation. We've reliably seen Loveling and indeed Luo go out and put defensive wards to stop a turret dive, but this time he's all on his own, and it could be a turret dive.
So Uzi going to be happy again in towards the top. Looks like lots of people lining up. Gogoing has realized what is wrong here. Although Lowe's coming down as well on Janna. Plundra, looks like it's just going to maybe proxy again, and we might have the fast push go for the second game in a row.
It worked so well the first game. Why not try it again? They're not going to get the early kills to really make it easy, but I mean, this feels like some Season 3 League of Legends right here as we see the complete turret XP denial coming out onto Gogoing.
I mean, the standard 3.5-minute 4-man proxy.
Yeah, you know.
Totally normal here. Welcome to the LPL, everyone. Here is Snake. Are going to try and fast push this turret once again. We've got more members of OMG joining them now. 3 actually here. It's Cool still there with Fizz and Bucker. Actually dueling quite nicely. That isolated mid lane giving Cool a bit of the edge there. And what's, I guess, a skill-ish matchup.
And I just worry that we're going to see Uzi show up at level 6 with Snake, you know, sharing XP among 3 to 4 people. Level 6 with a BF sword is going to really set himself up to carry an early game team fight right here. But Snake, they're doubling down right here. They are not interested in allowing Gogoing access to any CS.
Loveling are going to go in. Fandre does get out of that though. Beast uses his flash as well. But no early turret here for Snake. That might actually cost them here level 1.
Yep, the XP advantage is definitely in the top lane, but the CS actually very even here. Crystal has been picking up almost all the CS in these 3 4-man pushes, so it's doing fine in terms of CS. It's just the levels that Uzi's really going to have to show for this.
And it seems like, again, a very similar strategy for Snake, but not quite the same amount of success in execution. He's so Beast off to his own jungle again. 3v3 down the bottom lane to start off a pretty interesting lane. Looks like 3v2 now as Crystal and Ella going to get left alone for now in the bottom lane. Going to be left to his own devices again. We might see Low stick around, although both the jungler and support are recalling. And Uzi continuing a long freeze here in the top.
One thing that I do like about this early game is that it's basically negated the jungle pressure advantage that Jarvan will innately have before level 6. Cool takes a lot of damage in the mid lane. Obviously, if you're grouping with a Rengar, he still has access to some AoE wave clear. He's able to put out the same amount of pressure, but you don't have that situation where Jarvan's, you know, having that level 2 ganking spike and going around influencing lanes. The laning phase basically just started now, 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and again, Snake are all about getting Crystal going, and OMG seem to be okay. That's an amazing hook on the Go going. Plays him back as well. Good awareness of a Go going. Blade Surge is off to a minion. Keep himself healthy, and Flandre's joined Uzi in the top lane, but he's level 3.
Yeah, watching the top lane. So many members right here. Flandre's going to have to be careful.
Loveland going in. No flash. They can't close the distance, and Flandre, again, that intuition, although did have a ward to spot them off as well, will keep him safe here.
And so Rengar, again, he's kind of unmolested in his attempts to get to level 6 right here. Only level 3, but he'll keep getting experience. And finally, we have Crystal getting the solo lane farm in the bottom lane. And going. He's gleefully accepting the XP and last hits. Of course, he has 13 CS to 6, but a lot more item intensive is this Aurelia compared to Flandre's Rumble.
And I love this change up here. Is OMG actually going to look to go in for maybe a dive? Flandre could be in trouble. Looks like Beast is actually off to the side as well, and maybe now OMG rethink their turret dive. Yeah, it's 3v2. They're going to go in for it, or at least get some pressure down. Uzi's in there as well. Flandre and Beast rotating in to clear out some waves. Loveland going in, just needed to get to the other side, and does do so as Beast and Flandre will farm up as much CS as they can under this turret.
And you can see why OMG were considering their options right there. Level 6 already was the Sivir against 2 level 3s. Obviously being the sum of 2 people's levels, not something you see so often in League of Legends, barring the level 2 action.
And again, despite the fast push not working nearly as well this game as it did in game 1, I love that they've realized that, you know what, if they're going to leave Uzi alone, we're going to leave Crystal alone.
And so a name we didn't actually call out very often in the first game was Cool. Cool had not much impact in that first game right here. We were praising Barker's razor-sharp skill shots. Important to note that Cool is 5 CS up in a melee versus Syndra matchup. Fizz versus Syndra changes a lot at level 6, but it's quite painful at the early levels. It's down bottom. We see a little bit of love taps coming between the, at this point, bottom laners.
Yeah, great spell shield there by Uzi as well. Dodging the hook out there from Ella, who has rotated in towards the top lane. Level 6 in the mid lane for both as well. And we've got quite the party here in the top lane, actually. Looks like 2v2, actually, but not the 2v2 lanes we expect. And again, Crystal has to be happy with the free farm.
Yeah, Flandre is going to get experience, but the thing is here, Rumble actually scales off levels better than he does off items. So actually having a second member in this lane, having the Thresh, soaking up experience, is not ideal for Snake whatsoever. Of course, it stops the time when they can realistically fight for that dragon, just because, again, it's the equalizer that makes Rumble such a relevant champion at a dragon fight, and it's going to be delayed to what, at least probably the 10-minute mark at this point.
Yeah, credit to Loveling's pressure there as well, kind of keeping Snake scared in the top lane and kind of forcing them to have Ella there, just to clear out minions if nothing else as well, with the fast push now coming in from Uzi and Low.
To me, this doubles down on the late game focus of Snake, just because their mid game came through almost exclusively Rumble. To some extent, Beast hitting level 6 and impacting lanes, but mostly their team fighting is about Rumble and then waiting till Trist hits that power spike late. At this point, OMG are happy to give Snake, and specifically Crystal, the side lane solo lane here, just because although that does let Trist scale up faster, we're still talking 25, 30 minutes into the game. Not that Rumble having equalizer at the 5-6 minute mark.
Yep. Bucket did use his ultimate, by the way, in the mid lane. Just tried to burn a bit of harass on Cool. He's actually down towards the bottom side of the map now. Bucker got his blue. Cool with the same, and Crystal has to be very careful. Cool will back away, though. Just looking to get some wards done. Does ward up the Krugs. He's going to wander his way back to mid lane. Find his pink ward on his way as well, and take that out for his trouble.
And we talked about how OMG loved to give that defensive vision for Going, and this time it's actually Cool as the person who's able to go down there and put it down for them. Going is set up to succeed this game after really struggling last game. Both solo lanes. How often have we said both solo lanes were one of the main weaknesses in an OMG loss, but they really struggled, and it was all about Crystal.
Yeah, Uzi's still getting a lot of CS here as well. Up about 6 or so on Crystal right now. Flandre getting closer to level 6, probably about halfway there at this particular point. And Cool looking to get around and roam as well, potentially here. Level 8 with a blue buff here on Fizz. A very happy spot for the mid laner.
I think the mindset for Snake is going to be betrayed by the next item purchase for Crystal. I feel like if he opts in for the early Shiv, they're still trying to be teamfight relevant in the mid game. But if he goes BF Sword and they go for the Infinity Edge, that greedier item choice right there, delaying the power spike of Tristana, that'll suggest to me that Snake are basically putting their hands up and saying, OMG, you do what you want, and we're going to be big in the late game.
Crystal is still behind in CS, by the way. Uzi has continually kept ahead of him despite basically two different free farm situations in these games as Beast and Bucker now looking to maybe tie down Cool for their first blood of this game. Cool pretty slippery though on this fish and should be just fine here on Fizz.
Dramatically different game, this second game right here.
Use the playful tricks for the Flandre reporting in. That's a good ball there from Beast, but Teleport's also coming through. Beast flashes out with the fish, but Bucker gets the kill with his ultimate. Going to will answer there onto Rengar as Flandre going to try and turn around. Does already use his ultimate. Lovely in trouble, actually gets flashed off auto, but Lowe's here for the kill. Now Bucker in a whole host of trouble. Equilibrium strike down for Aurelia, and there's another kill.
Flandre was over-aggressive, trying to get a trade kill right there. Thought he could buy time for Barker to back away. He couldn't. 3 for 1 is the trade right there for OMG. They're going to pick up Dragon. And this game, totally different to the first.
Yeah, Snake, for all the strong early game presence they had before, this is not going to plan at all. And we talk about, again, them playing around Crystal a lot. He's going to have a lot of farming to do in this game.
When you have an aggressive team making successful early game moves, you're going to be very quick to compliment them and say decisive play. When you try the same thing and it doesn't come off against a practiced and experienced team like OMG, the result could be really painful.
And we've credited Flandre so much for aggressive teleport usage. Never mind, there's a replay of that last
Yeah, we see the replay here. The bowler does hit onto Cool, and it looked like Beast was over-aggressive in turret, danking the turret. They do pick up the first blood here, but Loveling's still going to engage on it. Of course, we're going to cut away there as we see a kill on the bot lane.
Crystal very important. Gets a kill. Uzi flayed back as well. Exhaust now down, but the hook does go wide there. Is now Uzi going to cut it with his ult. Crystal pops heal, actually, to try and get further forward and do some more damage, but Uzi does get away. Summon a spell intact also.
I think Crystal really wanted to pick up a couple of crits there and then really commit to the turret dive. Was hoping for that with the use of the heal. Didn't pick it up, so they have to back away. They'll take the kill, though.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal, again, after the best start of anyone on his team, he's getting all the gold as Beast actually coming on to go going. Flandre in trouble. He got going in to chase him out. Flash forward there. The ultimates are out, though, and Beast is now trying to do the damage. Flandre is desperately kiting, but Beast now going to get aggressed on. Flandre turns around, looks for the flame spitter damage. Does go in there. Bucker's rotated in as well, and Flandre picks up the kill.
Going did so much right there, but Loveling's come in too.
He's come back now. Beast is here, but Bucker takes him out. Cool now is looking. He really wants to fish one or two people, but can't find the line for the ulti, and Snake get away with 2 kills.
That kind of changed the game on its head, Patient. I was ready to say OMG had the ascendancy in the mid game here, but they're actually ahead in kill now. A Snake was very smart trading of damage right there. You would have felt so bad if you were going because you were so close to the glorious double kill. Shades of PDD's Rumble many years past coming out right there, but the result is just 2 deaths.
And Crystal, so aggressive, jumps forward towards low to try and get damage done, taking out wards now, defending the Pink Lord with his life. And the kills, most importantly, go over to multiple members on Snake. So it's not just Crystal now. It's got a bit of mid-game gold. Everyone now has at least 1 kill.
And I've learned not to question Crystal's aggression on those rocket jumps. I mean, we saw Uzi at the World Championships, of course, and people were just so impressed with his aggressive use of that ability right here. Very similar flavor from Crystal, as we see, of course. The hook goes wide.
Really nice hook there, but Beast is down here as well. Crystal going to go in. Beast on top, low with a good ulti. Going to try and reset, but Crystal going straight back in, gets smited there by Loveling. Forced to flash out. Cataclysm, though, will get him the kill, and Uzi going to get buster shot back, but Beast now trapped in the Cataclysm. That's a good hook there for Ella. Flame not going to follow quite through yet, and Bucker nowhere to really get. Does stun up Loveling. Cools down here as well, though, and OMG pick up much needed kills as Ella forced to dodge the fish. The dive comes in there. Ella plays them back. Does look onto Cool, but Uzi gets that kill.
And sometimes as a caster, you have to eat your words, Pastry Time. As that time, he jumped straight into his death and, of course, sealed the fate of 2 of his team members right there. It feels like both teams are taking turns, throwing the aggression down, taking hits, then regrouping, going for another aggressive, and right now, it goes towards OMG once again.
Flandre going in, actually pops the ulti down, going, he has to be careful, but he's doing a lot of damage on this Aurelia. Flames comes in, Flandre might get the solo killer onto going. Can't quite get it done, the silence hurting him there with the overheat.
And meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Loveling escapes with about 200 health himself. The direct-to-camera view I had just couldn't decide what to show. There was so much action happening in this game.
And that's a good way to sum up this game. So much action in the first 14 minutes already. These two teams are going blow for blow. Let's see the bottom line.
So we see the replay. It's a very smart play right there, but Beast gets hit out by the excellent Janna ult right here, and that for once jumping in for Crystal, seals his death right here. 3 members of OMG, free DPS on base. Obviously not that tanky on the early game Rengar right here. And although Baka was the first to react right here, his only option is to leave Ela to his death, because look at this. There was a zoning fish to some degree. He didn't want to pick that up, but he still died.
Yeah, Baka no ultimate crucially there when he rotated down, and beautiful timing by Loveling for the counter gank as well. So OMG more on the board now, 6-4 in kills in this game, 1-0 up in turrets as well, OMG, and that's about 1,500 gold or so ahead, as I believe the first Dragon went to them also.
And I feel like the vision advantage you can see on the minimap really shows how in the ascendancy OMG are, just because they have smart defensive wards on their own red buff and also aggressive wards on the enemy's red buff and any rotations they do on their side of the map. So they're really setting up to take advantage of the power trap coming in the mid game. And I talked about this Tristana item build right here. It's not going to be the static shiv. It's not doubling down on the mid game Tristana. He's just setting up for late, but that means 10 minutes of pain or more coming in from OMG.
Yeah, Snake know that it's not the start they got in game 1 here for their Tristana. So Crystal has to dig deep and go farming pretty heavily in this game if they want to look to get to that strong late game position that they were in that won them the first game as well. But OMG are playing with even more aggression in this particular game.
And with this Sivir pick, with 1 outer turret down, you know that their 20-minute goal right here is, okay, we're going to take this next dragon and let's knock out all those outer turrets and start doubling down on this wards, because they have no interest in letting Crystal free farm for another 10 to 15 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Cool is so aggressive. You're actually going to go in 1v3, looking for the fish, doesn't get it. Forced to get out. The exhaust comes in, but the Tornado comes in as well. Ela getting low. That's a good double play, but Uzi gets the first kill. Great ult from Low as well. But Flandre, amazing equalizer there. Low's going to go down first there, as Crystal now going to get the resets to hop back in. Uzi's got to be careful now. Flandre going in. There's the next kill. Another reset coming in as Buck is trying to chase out Cool. Does flash the slow though, and 2 for 1 the trade. Actually 2 for 2.
Lovely flash from Flandre. He effectively cancelled the animation on his rocket. Instant rocket led to another kill right there. Very smart play from Low to actually come and flank engage as Janna. Not really words you usually say very often, but he did very well. But it ends up being a 2 for 2 even trade. And the big thing from that, it's not the 2 for 2 trade, it's the fact that look who's farming freely at the bottom lane after it. It's Crystal. And any time they can buy for this man to farm, sets themselves up to really contest this mid game.
Good pressure here in the mid. Going very cute blade service to a minion, and will look to apply pressure to this mid lane turret here. It does get defended though by Snake as they roll 3 people in, and OMG posturing very aggressively around this dragon. Crystal has to be so careful.
4 members coming down from OMG right here. Crystal, I think you've overstayed, mate. He's in a lot of trouble.
Well, Ella's there, but he's maybe a little too far away. Loveling gonna line it up. The smite comes in first. Beautiful fish. The lantern maybe gonna go. No, gets cancelled by the ultimate, and going picks up that kill.
I don't think I've ever seen that interaction. The fish came at the most fortuitous moment possible, popped up that whale. The death comes in, and look at that. Dragon's up. It's going to be an easy pickup for OMG, but it's all afforded by this vision. They have perfect vision on the red side enemy jungle right here. And look, Snake can't buy a ward above their own Raptor camp.
Yeah, and a little too aggressive there by Crystal. Too far forward in that lane as OMG will now pick up their second dragon of the game. Loveling there, going to slowly but surely beat that down. Didn't have a smite, of course. Why would you? Smite buffs. Hello, Cacao. How are you? Snake in the top lane. They're going to knock down this top turret for themselves.
You have to think 5.1 can't come soon enough for these Chinese junglers. They always use that chilling smite in the fight. Show up at a Baron, DPS it down, whatever. Don't have the secure on it. That charge system can be a massive buff to LPL play.
Very safe dragon there for OMG after getting the kill on Crystal. Good counter push in the mid as well. Going to trade the mid turret for the top turret, which is a trade that OMG now with the outer ring down going to be very comfortable with.
Yeah, 1,800 gold, but more importantly, the 3 outer turrets down for OMG right here. They're doing exactly what their comp needs to do, and they're even buying time for Go going to farm. I believe it's about 200-300 gold away from Trinity Force. They can group with that power spike right there, and Tristana, look, she's 2 items away from her main power spike right here. At least the Shiv and the second boots 2 need to be completed. But she doesn't have the Nunu this game to really skip any of those power troughs in the mid game. It's all about Tristana getting to 3 of those big 80 carry items, and Snake losing the minimum before that point.
Loveling finding a few too many friends, gets bowled up. The ultimate gets burnt there as well, but Loveling EQ's out, and Snake are like, I wish we'd save the ulti there. Loveling just strolls out casually.
It was an unnecessary ultimate. I mean, once they removed the front-loaded damage on that Rumble ult many moons ago at this point, you can't really free DPS someone down instantly right there. It doesn't work, and now a very important cooldown is down for any sort of engage around this turret.
Yeah, clearing out the trinket wards, though. Snake grouping up to try and take out this mid lane turret, and OMG 4-man strong will look to defend here as well. Crystal going to get involved potentially as well. Decent items right now on Trist. Level 11, not too bad for knocking down turrets. Beast actually in trouble. Does get landed down. No, he jumped onto Loveling, wants to go in the hook. Flying that as well as Cool wants to fish somebody. Finds Ella, who flashes forward. Good split there though for Snake. Is Beast now going to get jumped on there as well. Going, look to take him out. Does do so. Even throws down the pink ward.
Yeah, 3 pink wards put down just for that engagement to ensure they DPS down Beast. And the traditionally strong points of Snake, mainly their early game and their minion control, are letting them down. Look at these huge waves pushing at both top and bot as OMG rotate to mid, pick up a couple of kills, and looking good.
And we mentioned our featured matchup, Beast versus Loveling. Beast had it all under control in game 1 with the Nunu, but I have to say Loveling, he's taking the cake this game.
If you take Beast away from that early pressure jungler, whether it's the Jarvan, whether it's the Nunu, that Rengar is not working out for him at least this game.
Yeah, and Loveling's just been pressure city here on Jarvan as well as Flandre. We'll move into the top lane. Leandry's has been completed. Flandre loves to get aggressive with those first 2 items. Almost always completes that Leandry's early on Rumble.
And we see a massive damage power spike coming out from Cool here. Goes back, finishes the Lich Bane. Of course, the Morellonomicon has been the favored early game pickup by these Chinese players. It gives you access to so much damage and, of course, a little bit more elusiveness, having the cooldown on your playful Trickster a little bit more. It does delay your Zhonya's and therefore Void Staff. But, you know, if you're winning, in a snowball sense, this build is ideal because the damage you can put out consistently in a team fight is huge.
Yeah, good going as well. Also picked up a Trinity Force now, probably a minute or 2 ago. So really strong items coming through for the mid-game for OMG as they will steal away the blue buff. Uzi actually the recipient there of that one, but it's mainly just to deny that from Baka Syndra.
So it's 800 gold is the lead for Uzi right here. It's Cool. He's looking for someone.
Down Crystal, he's fished him up. Crystal, good busted shot, but Cool. Gonna go around the Ignite, will take off, and that's an easy kill for Fizz.
Importantly, with the Grievous runes from the Ignite, dying and using heal right there. That summon is down, the fight's on.
Loveling getting aggressed on Flandre here as well. Good ultimate actually in the choke point. Baka gets that first kill, but Flandre will go down, so that's 2 for 1 with the pick off there on Trist as well.
Yeah, it was a very smart fight. Oh, is he in trouble?
Yeah, that's a great hook there from Ella. Baka blows him up for the double.
People are exploding left and right. That was actually a level 11 Flandre. So that was actually doing a lot of damage, was that equalizer, but just in no position to capitalize on it and force a team fight. So they're actually quite fortuitous. The Ella comes up big, very nice hook. DPS is down Uzi, and they buy themselves the time to breathe. And every minute that they can breathe, every minute that Crystal can go around, happily pick up some farm and not die, that's a time ticker for OMG because they cannot afford to drag this out to late game.
Yeah, so 2 items done for Crystal. Looking for the ever-important 3rd item as the next dragon is due in about a minute 45. Going in the top lane, cleaning some minions out here with his teleport ready to go. And this will be a very important dragon. We talk about the 3rd dragon being the one you really want to contest. Snake can't really afford to let it go if they can help it.
And it's been interesting to see Cool play this Fizz as if he's playing Zed because he's always split pushing. He knows that with this aggressive item build, there's no one on Snake's side that can 1v1 him in this situation. Even 2 members are in with a shout of him beating in a 1v2 situation. So he's happy to push, creates so much pressure in the bot. And importantly, that bot lane is now no longer a place that Crystal can free farm happily. Usually the bot lane, because it's so far away from other objectives, is free farm city for an AD carry. But Crystal's relegated to picking up Raptors right here. He's not able to gobble up those massive waves crashing onto the box. They just don't have the defensive warding to allow him to go and split push and farm.
He's got a minute, so we probably wanted down to clean that up. Uzi here in the meantime, getting some very comfortable creeps here in the mid lane. 2 items done for Sivir as well, and ahead in CS a little bit here for Uzi, but not nearly the deficit we saw in game 1.
No, definitely not. And Sivir, with any sort of gold lead, just doubles down on her mid-game power. She's going to fall off in the late game, but I guess another factor that we didn't really discuss is that in game 1, Uzi had to deal with a Jarvan who basically itemized full armor, and Sivir is not a tank buster. She kind of sat autoing that Jarvan, couldn't ever get through that target, so never really got the DPS on priority targets. There's no one like that on this Snake lineup. It could be Rengar in the late game, but he's so far behind, that late game's never going to come. So Sivir's going to be big.
God, that fish does get Crystal. That's actually a lot of damage going in. The equalizer pops down, but Uzi takes out Flandre. Loveling low as well. And that's 4 kills instantly for OMG.
4 kills instantly. Beast walks off on 0 HP. With all that CDR, you know he's going to fall right here. That was an explosion of damage from OMG.
Cool is hunting down the Rengar as well. Beast is trying.
Boots of Moby, it's come in.
It has ticked in. Cool's like, come on, man. Let me just pick you up. And Beast is like, no, I'm going to waste as much time as possible. But Cool's just going to keep the jungler away from Baron, and that's all that matters now for OMG.
Baron is still very high in health right there. They're going to have to be smart with trading, but you know OMG are very practicing right there. The Suicide comes out. They've got no smite, but it's not going to be a problem. Should be Baron to OMG.
Yeah, I mean, Beast isn't around to steal it. He executed to the turret, so didn't give away that goal, but a very early Baron here for OMG, but they secure it with gusto.
Absolutely. From patch 5 onwards, you're not really seeing Barons before about the 28-minute mark. Such is the potential to lose a team fight around there. And the casual soloing of the dragon, even throwing out the fish for good measure.
Coming in, is he going to steal it? No, Cool does secure the dragon, where that was unbelievably close. Cool's playing a little bit confidently this game, I think I'll say.
He's got a cool head, that's for sure.
There's Bucky here now in the mid lane. Finished up his Zhonya's. He's got his Void stuff on the way with a blasting one done as well. Snake definitely have some options here moving through, but OMG just busted through a massive lead here, about 5k ahead.
And it feels like Fizz is about a half item away from really being unassailable in these team fights. He's so close to comboing that 40% CDR with the Zhonya's Hourglass. It'll come really soon right here. And Cool's been the difference. And the solo lanes in particular, I love this blast from the past from going right here. Trinity Force into Guardian Angel. Sounds like a Season 1 item build, but still so effective, especially 24 minutes into the game. Killing 2 Aurelias? Good luck with that.
I mean, Gogoing has one job in this game, and it's to make sure Crystal is as irrelevant as possible in these team fights. And I guess Cool maybe has that job as well as Loveling. Narrowly escapes the hook there. Snake going to clear out and try and get defensive vision down. Flandre going to get dove on. Good flash out. Gogoing has still got the GA going. Now here's low on Uzi. Flandre nowhere to go. Does get knocked up, and Uzi says, thanks, mate. I'll take the gold.
I mean, interesting to me, Page Time, is that's not just one person's job. That is OMG's job this game. There's a reason you see Fizz split push. There's a reason you see so many invasions coming out here as Cool might be in trouble.
Does get jumped on. Beast very patient. Pops in. There's the ult actually coming through. Cool. Going to go in. Ella does find the hook. Bucket gets the stun as well. And what a great CC chain for that first kill. But Crystal down the bottom gets 4-man Dovin killed by OMG.
They finally killed that priority target, but at what cost? They lose one turret here. They're in no position to protect the second one either. Uzi is massive on Sivir. They're going to DPS this turret down like it's nothing.
And this is the mid game we wanted from OMG here. So much power here in this stage. Snake struggling to push OMG back out of their base. And the first inhib of game 2 goes down at 26 minutes.
And this is feeling more and more like a standard OMG performance right here. After being just so overconfident, cocky even, I would suggest of them, with their drafting and play in the first game right here. They're just turning on the style. They're showing the power in their picks, and they're playing wonderfully.
And you said it before, OMG, if there's one place from that first game they needed to step up in, it was probably the solo landers. And Cool is putting on a standard Cool performance at this point, playing with such swagger and such confidence. 4-2-7 with almost 200 CS. Cool, and now with the Rabadons as well. He is all OMG's game plan at this point.
You know, I thought he'd go for the Zhonya's there just because it fits the item build, allows him to be a frontline. No, he just wants to instantly DPS down people. And with those 4 instant kills in the last team fight, you know they have absolutely that potential.
Yeah, it does help with the split push plan as well for Cool. And Going is also going here as well. 5-1-7 with 140 CS. Flandre, you know, a pretty safe, solid, resourceless-esque champion, I guess, on Rumble, but he's just not been able to have the impact here. Snake are just getting shut out of big 5v5 team fights, and Crystal's still struggling to farm.
And you can see from their map movement here, every time they see Crystal meet a minion wave, they move 3-4 members to that wave. Rumble's they're happy for Rumble to free farm in the top lane right here. They know that's not going to have a big impact on the late game fights. OMG know if they group and force Crystal away from creeps, they're going to win this game.
Yeah, and Crystal does get Lantern back to safety as well. Beast looking aggressively, maybe for a flank there as the tier 2 mid lane turret will get looked at here by OMG. OMG, by the way, got themselves to 9,000 gold ahead, as that's an amazing fish for Cool. He doesn't even want to go in there, just saying, you know what, I don't need this.
The harassment fish. When you have 40% CDR on Fizz, something that we haven't seen until these Morello Nomicon builds started coming out, you can afford to do that because the cooldown's super short. I believe it's about 38 seconds cooldown or so with 40% CDR. Look, it's already half up.
Yeah, it's Bucker here with Crystal will look to defend. Good wave clear here from the Syndra. But Going. I mean, he could dive as well if he wanted with the GA. We've got a quick Aegis done for Loveling now as well. OMG just have all the tools they need in this mid game.
And you have to feel they're a Dragon or a Baron buff away from just having go in there, tank the turret. He's got Guardian Angel, and they'll try and finish the game off that. Right now, probably a little bit too over-aggressive to dive right here, but 10,000 gold lead. There was never a significant gold lead in the previous game. It was severely just really coming out through objectives. In this case, the gold lead is huge.
Yeah, Equalizer does go down. Ella trying to fish for a hook there. Crystal actually going in. Beats has popped his ulti as well. He's going to try and find someone. Bowler goes wide, though. Don't really want Going, so they'll back off here. But OMG just wait out the ultimates, and they'll come right back in.
And it just feels like a repeat of the previous game when we discussed this Rengar. In both games, Rengars have kind of looked to engage and then realized, oh, my team doesn't have any business fighting right here. I've got to back away instantly.
Yeah, Uzi as well. It's massive on this Civ. 6, 2, and 7 is going. Because he uses his ulti. Pops the ulti there as well. OMG going to go in, going. We're going to dive in on the back. Finds the blade turn onto the minion. Lovely dives in there as well. And does so much damage. But Flandre gets the first kill. Cool now diving into the back as well. There's the next kill onto Beast. Going. Low, but Crystal firing from the back lines is getting in the damage. Going. He is so tanky right now. He'll popped aggressively by Uzi, but the GA does get popped. Cool now. Low as well though. Uzi coming through. Gets the triple. Can he actually find it? No, he doesn't quite go in for the Penta. He wants it though so bad. Crystal getting locked out. Uzi. Oh my god. Crystal with the double. Does go down to going though. 5 for 3 the trade.
Crystal almost pulls off the heroic 1v3, 1v4 action right there, but it's not enough. They'll lose an objective right here. It's that inhibitor going down for them. And Crystal, look, she wasn't even the focus in that fight, was that Tristana? But she just can't handle it just because her front line dies instantly.
I don't think Crystal had Last Whisper for that team fight. We might have to watch, see if we get a replay at any point to see exactly how that panned out. Uzi as well, he really wanted that pentakill.
It's going to be very interesting to see a replay because that was just such a cluster of a team fight. There was so many low health bars, abilities going off left, right, and center. The only really thing you can take away from that team fight is that what's a Tristana to do when she has no front line? That's the one consistent. We saw a 400 armor Jarvan in the front line freely tanking damage from a Sivir. That's what Tristana's looking for. But with all these kind of damage off tanks coming out here, the likes of Rumble, the likes of Rengar, it's just not the same for that Tristana. She wasn't able to order. She was zoned by the implied pressure of Aurelia jumping on her, and there was nothing she could do.
I mean, credit to Beast here as well. He's actually got a Warmox as his first major item, so he's trying to be the frontline that his team needs, but you're right, it's just not quite enough here. And OMG is setting up for their 4th potential dragon now in the game. It has respawned. Baron is up back again in 25 seconds as well, and Flandre, he's in the wrong neighborhood. Flandre does flash the fish. Cool threaded that somehow through the minion glows, but everyone dives on top. He pops the ulti and the zombies. Cool actually has to be a little bit careful, but cool. No, never mind. Just Urchin strikes through, gets a clean kill.
He buys a bit of time, so credit to him for that. But Uzi in the mid lane, he's been caught.
Good play from Al, but Uzi going to turn around and go in, going now. Going to dive back in. Baka does get that next kill, but going. Is going so deep. Now Crystal's joining in. Beast has to be careful. Tristana trying for the damage. Loveling diving in. They get the kill. That's an amazing knockup as well. And Crystal forced to jump out there. That's 4 clean kills there for OMG. Crystal's running as fast as he can, but there's 4 members here from OMG, and he's absolutely dead.
Words defy me to describe the cataclysm into flag and drag that was pulled off there. The amount of CC that Loveling put out in that team fight is illegal. It was incredible play from him. They capitalized on Uzi being caught by just cleaning up the rest of the members. Are they going to go for this Baron here? They can't really push in and finish without a ranged AD carry. But OMG, they've got all the options. It just feels like they can choose whichever one they feel like.
And Baron is the choice here that they want. They can feel like they secure the dragon whenever they want here, and Loveling will start up the Baron. Cool will join him soon as well. Uzi's not even there. You know, their main carry damage dealer. Don't need him. More than happy here with what they've got, and that'll be a 2nd Baron now for OMG.
And look, he didn't get the hyper carry this game, but Uzi, you look down, he's got 4 damage items and even a lazy BF sword on top of all of it. He's only interested in damage this game, is Uzi, because his front line, once his Guardian Angel comes up in about 2 minutes, the Jarvan and Aurelia front line will not be beaten by Snake.
No, and OMG do dare pick up their 2nd Baron, sorry, here. Beast's going to clear out some vision. Maybe Snake can steal the first dragon here, but Uzi is going to go in for the 1v1 again. Pops his ulti. Lantern goes in as well. And Uzi back to bloodthirsty confidence mode.
I mean, 800 damage crits. And, you know, you just going back to what you said about Beast, you complimented him on the Warmogs right here. To me, a Warmog's first item says that he looked down the carries and the damage coming out from OMG and said, look, I got no idea what I can build to change these team fights. I'm just going to go hedge my bets with flat health. It's not that useful when you're taking 800, 900 damage crits from Uzi.
No, 4th dragon in a row there for OMG as well. Snake have been starved of objectives this game, and Crystal, he's gotten to the point where he can start being relevant now. Basically has his 3 core damage item plus a Vamp Scepter. That's the best jumping off point for Tristana, but they're so far behind in this game, and OMG are just closing the trap.
Of course, the 4th damage item will bring a tear to the eyes of anyone playing on the live service right now as DFG is picked up on Fizz right here. Who needs a Zhonya's when you have just an ungodly amount of AP and burst damage?
That is so much damage, and Cool's ultimates have been on point. He has somehow led them through caster creeps like I just can't believe here. And Cool, we've said it, the solo lane is needed to step up for OMG here in this game, and both going and Cool, and let's face it, Uzi as well, have been playing fantastically. This is the trinity that we love to see as Loveland Might go in here. Beast actually a little too far forward. Uzi going to get jumped on. Ultimate there. Great for Flandre. Good start there to Uzi as well, but everyone dives in. Crystal gets the first kill, dives up, but Cool is right on top of him right now. And Crystal's got nowhere to go. Going. Picks him up. Baka in trouble there as goes straight on top of him as well. Flandre looking to go back. Ella plays them back as well. He was next to go down here as Cool. Gets that next kill. Now Flandre will likely get picked up here. The Baron creeps might kill him before the rest of OMG can. Does pop the shield to run away. He's going to make a run for here as Flandre, but there's nothing left basically. The slow from Loveling. Cool gets the last kill, and that might just be it.
The full DPS, Uzi gets zerged down, dies instantly, but it doesn't matter. There's so much damage on the solo laners here. It's all about cool and going. How many times have we said that as an OMG fan, as an OMG commentator? Whenever you see the games, it's usually those solo lanes that carry. It was everybody this game, and OMG win very decisively in game 2.
With a 20,000 gold lead in this particular game, OMG crushed Snake to take it 1-1. Didn't look great in game 1, but boy did they look unstoppable again in game 2. And what a way for OMG to finish. That's a real, hey, before you get too cocky and think you can beat us, here's the real OMG.
And it was a tale of two Rengars to some degree. I mean, the Rengar picks really suffered, I think. Anybody that opted into that early game power trough and the big featured jungle matchup really paid for it right here. And this was the Loveling show. He played wonderfully well on that Jarvan 4 and took the game. And we're going to see a replay just to really get a flavor for what we saw in game 2 here. So again, already a very sizable gold lead coming out for OMG right here, but we're going to see some really nice plays. So we'll roll the tape right here. And Uzi pops his ultimate right here. They're mostly popping that ultimate to zone them off the turret so they can take it down, but then they're like, all right, let's just freely DPS. And we see so many low health members right here, but watch Cool and the amount of damage he can do. At this point, he had 703 AP, so it doesn't really matter who Uzi's free ordering right here. They take down Baka, and it looked really bad for Crystal, but there's low health members across, and Crystal's still almost at 3 damage Tristana right here. Blows away the Janna, isn't able to finally kill her though, and they basically just all take turns using their DPS onto the Tristana. 2 of them fall, but it doesn't really matter because they get the same result.
Yeah, and I think Uzi was just saying, give me the pentakill, that's all I want. I don't care. We're so far ahead that it's so unlikely for us to lose that game. And we talk about OMG being a team when their 3 carries fire, they go off. That was 4 carry OMG in full force.
4 carry OMG, absolutely. But Snake, I mean, they'll take a lot out of that series. OMG, they'll kind of wonder why they let those picks slip in the first game. We can only speculate that there was that SK Telecom T1K from many moons ago theory of give them the comfort, beat them on their comfort champions, and then smash them in game 2. They didn't manage the first part, but they certainly blew away Snake in a very impressive game 2 performance.
Well, the feature game delivered today here, but we'll be back with more LPL action. 11